Everybody, and welcome back to Real Estate Redefined, another fabulous episode here talking about real estate things, everything that you need to know. I've got Vicky and Thurman Ragsdale with me, and y'all need to remember their names because they're in the top 15% of realtors here in all of San Angelo?
All of San Angelo.
All of San Angelo, out of how many?
425, I think.
Wow.
In the top 15.
So they kind of know what they're doing. They kind of know a little bit what they're doing, y'all. So we're going to get some advice from them today. And first off, we've got a lot of things to talk about. So what do y'all want to start off with? The interest rates?
Yeah, we can start off there. Yeah. I think right now, just talking to the lender that we use, Valerie Allison Priest, we use her, and we use Cara Bowles as well. But talking to them right now, you know, everybody wonders when a great time to buy is. Yeah. Well, right now interest rates are starting to raise a little bit, and we expected that a little bit, but it's starting to go up. And so right now, great credit, you're getting high twos, 2%, which is still a great rate.
Yeah.
But in the future, you don't want that to get up to where it could be, depending on how things go. But right now with grants and some other stuff for first-time home buyers, like if you're thinking about renting for $1,500, $1,800 a month, you can buy a house right now as a first-time home buyer with decent credit, you'll still be under 4% in the 3 area.
Okay.
So that's a real good rate right now. And instead of taking that money and just giving it to an apartment complex or to somebody that's renting you a house, you can go in and with the grants that help with down payment and closing costs and stuff like that, and let us negotiate some closing costs and other stuff for you. We can get you into a house, and you'll end up paying less, and the money it's going in the bank. It's not just going out into the ether someplace,
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, I was going to ask because I think some people maybe, and y'all can give some insight when you think about buying buying a home.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to stay here forever. Should I even buy a home? But is it better to actually go ahead and purchase?
Well, that's a good question. If you plan on staying there 2 years, if you plan on not being there at least 2 years, because of closing costs and stuff, and plus you have to pay, what is it? You have to pay, the word I'm trying to say, taxes on any capital gains taxes.
Yeah.
If you don't live in there at least 2 years. So, if you don't plan on being here at least 2 years, maybe not. It just depends on,
the way the market's running.
Yeah, the way the market is and what you sell your house for right now. You might not make that much capital gains when you sell, so it still might be better to purchase.
Okay, so it's still kind of a more of a long term, but not as long as people think.
Right. And the way the real estate market is in San Angelo, I mean, the property values are very good right now.
Yeah.
So, and they're getting better. So, I don't think it's a bad time to buy no matter what. I mean, you've got to. It's better than, like I said, it's a better investment than taking your money and giving it to somebody else so they can make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Okay, so for these first-time home buyers, because I'm glad you brought this up. All of the different resources that are out there. If you could just kind of go over those.
Okay, go ahead, Vic.
No.
Okay, go ahead. So, what you want to do is, if you're a first-time home buyer, normally you're going to want to have decent credit, 620 or better. Look at that. What I'd recommend for anybody that's looking to buy a home, though, is get in touch with the lender immediately. Okay. It's the first thing you do. First thing you do, you want to get in touch with the lender because, like Valerie Prius, she's great. She'll let you know. Same with Cara. They will let you know what you need to do to qualify for a home. So maybe it's going to take 6-8 months for you to qualify, but at least she'll line that out for you, so you know exactly what to do instead of just guessing and hoping. I've got a decent credit score, I can go buy a house, but you've only been at your job 6 months, and they're like, well, you really need 2 years. Now we sold a house to a young lady just graduated from college.
Okay.
She was from Mason. She just graduated from college. She didn't really have anything but a little credit card and some student loans that she'd been paying on and stuff like that. But her credit score was good. It was really good. She had 10% down. She went in, she got she got in the high 2s on her interest rate, and she, for a first time home buyer, and bought a $200,000 home. and her payment was less than $1,500 a month.
Wow.
So, and I'm not saying that's going to happen to everybody,
Yeah.
but that is something that is absolutely possible. So when you're thinking, oh, I can't afford this, you really need to talk to a lender, a good lender. You need to get with, us. We can point you in the right direction, give you the right resources that you need to figure that out, and put you on the right track. And like I said, you'd be shocked.
I also think that it's best for first-time home buyers to talk to the lender first, to keep from being disappointed when they're out looking, in the way that the lender's going to tell them what price range of a house they can afford. A lot of people go out looking first, and they may find a house that they fall in love with, and then find out, well, they're not quite there as far as like what they can afford.
Yeah.
But once they find that out, then the looking is fun, because they know everything that we show or they want to look at, it's in their price range, and they know that they can, if they fall in love with that, they can absolutely have it. So
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think a lot of folks, we all have the apps and see all the listings, and we're like, oh, and then, but it doesn't always work out. You do have to be realistic.
yeah, that's the first thing you want to find out, is like how much of a house you can afford. So that's and so again, lender's always the first step. It's not that we don't want to show people houses before they go see a lender, because we love looking at houses. We'll take you all day, but it's going to set you up for disappointment if you haven't talked to that lender first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
And one of the good things, like Vicky has done a great job at getting something out there that not all realtors do. We have an app. It's a Navica app. It's Navica client, and we can send it to anybody. They can contact us on Facebook. We'll go ahead and send them our app. And it's an MLS app. And what it is, so a lot of people, they go and they look on Zillow and Realtor.com and all this stuff. Well, they're like any other site. They want as many people looking at their site as possible, so they're going to put as much content on there as possible, even if the content isn't truly available still. So you'll go on, and we'll have clients, and we'll tell them, we'll say, hey, only use the Navica client, because that's what we use as realtors. We use the MLS. So if you look at that, that'll give you real time, real data, if it's under contract, if it's not under contract, if it's actually for sale. Whereas if you go into Zillow, we have customers all the time, they'll say, well, I saw this on Zillow. Well, it hadn't been, it was sold 3-4 months ago. But they
Was it 4 months?
Well, houses are going so fast, and Zillow and them, they don't update them as frequently. Some of them update automatically, some of them don't. So a lot of houses you find on the websites are not available anymore. Oof. Especially since some houses now, the market is so hot right now that, well, it's hot. We need houses to sell. There's only 123 houses in all of San Angelo for sale.
Wow.
Yeah, and because of that, they're going within hours. Some of them have, we had a house the other day, somebody put up, it had 6 contracts on it in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That is a lot. Yeah, because Ryan has said previously, you just can't keep up. It's just
crazy.
So, wow. Yeah. So now really is the time. So what if you're selling?
Sellers right now, they're having a really good time.
Yeah.
So
sellers market.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, using, I have friends that try to sell on their own and do that kind of thing, and we found out that they a lot of them have come back to us because they want us negotiating for them and helping them get the most money out that they can get.
Right.
A lot of people make a mistake of looking on Tom Green County tax appraisal, or the tax appraisal district, and they look up and they say, well, it was last appraised at this. Well, that's not right. That's not
your house appraisal.
Yeah, that's what the taxes tax. That's the amount that your taxes are assessed on. The lower that number, the better. Okay, so. So you want, but we go off comps. What's actually been sold within the last 6 months in your neighborhood? Okay. And that's what we do. We figure what that is, and then we try to push the envelope on listings. We try to make sure you get as much money as you can get. We want to be at the top of the market every single time we sell a house.
Well, it sounds like there's kind of some bidding wars happening with some of these houses.
There is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
and that's good. But the thing about that is, some people and even people that are selling their houses, they think that they can sell them for astronomical prices, but you can't, because that house still has to appraise. So no matter how much somebody would pay for your house, they still have to get a loan for that house, and so that house still has to appraise.
Okay.
So
you got to be realistic on both sides.
Right.
On both sides, but right now, like I said, it's really good, and having that right number the first time. So what happens is when we list the house, it goes out into on the MLS on Navica, and all the realtors see it, okay, and everybody with that app sees it, and they see it. Well, there's a big rush to that, okay. Now, if that house is priced out of market, if it's way overpriced, like if say for sale by owner, and you put it out there and it's priced $30,000 over comps, then no one's going to look at it.
Yeah.
And then that big rush is going to go. They're going to move someplace else, and then your house is going to sit on the market. So it's very important. Like I said, it's very important. I think to use a realtor. We earn our money. We don't. It's not like you're just paying somebody to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, we make sure you get the most money. We make sure it's negotiated. A lot of people we see for sale by owner. You'll see a for sale by owner in their front yard for months on a nice house, and you're like, why is that? Well, it's either priced wrong or they've been under contract 3 times with people that couldn't be approved. We deal with approved buyers, good buyers that have pre-approval letters that come in and they're ready to pull the trigger, and we make sure that we're bonded. We make sure that, and all realtors are bonded. So if we list your house, we have a lockbox on it. You're not there. There's a bonded realtor taking that person, watching them go through your house, not just anybody coming by your house, knocking on your door saying, "Hey, I saw the sign in your yard. Can I go through your house?"
Yeah, so some extra security, especially nowadays.
Absolutely, it's very good, and especially if there's, especially with the way COVID is, if you have some issues and you want to be safe, we set up those precautions. So we have people put booties on, gloves, whatever the client feels comfortable with, whatever the lister feels comfortable with, we make sure that happens. So, it's just. There's added layers that I think real estate agents add to this to make it so much easier, so much smoother, and dealing with inspections and appraisals and all the other things that you have to do that go down the line, and not every deal is perfect. Imagine that. So you want to be able to navigate that, and that's what we help do.
Yeah. Perfect. So, usually the middleman gets a bad rap, but y'all are actually the good middlemen who make sure all of these things get taken care of.
We're trying to make sure that everything goes as swimmingly as possible for the listing. Swimmingly. That's what I said. For if we're listing or if we're representing the buyer, we want to make sure everybody's represented and getting the most out of their dollar, one way or the other.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm sure it can be hard, the owner negotiating directly with the buyer. I'm sure sometimes that can cause some tension.
Yes.
That usually doesn't go over well.
Yeah, but y'all are you circumvent that.
Yes, we try to separate that. So we deal with it, and it's good to have that when realtors are dealing with realtors instead of buyers and sellers, because that, like you said, it can be contentious and can be, it can cause some problems.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I keep looking down because I'm monitoring the questions because we are streaming live. So y'all go ahead and post your questions if you have any. But until y'all got a shout out already from George Rios Jr.
Oh,
he says,
"Hey George," from Jim Bass folks. That's awesome.
Hey,
he works at Jim Bass. Yeah.
So until they drop their questions, what are some of those most common questions that y'all get either from buyers or sellers that you just get all the time?
Usually it has a lot to do with finances, like how much they're going to need to put down, and a lot of first-time home buyers, they don't understand that actual closing cost on a house and down payment on a house are different. So you add those two together. You have closing cost, and then you have down payment. First-time buyers, if you're doing an FHA loan, it's usually 3.5% down of whatever the price of the home is, and then closing costs can, depending on the price of the house, can range anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000, $7,000. So for the larger home, so you add that to the 3.5 down. That's the cash that you'll need, not up front, but at closing. So usually they're wanting to know that so that they have enough money in the bank. And
Right.
don't be discouraged if you don't, because that's where we come in and can negotiate, perhaps getting some closing costs from the seller. It's kind of hard to do right now because it is a seller's market, so there's not a lot of sellers that are giving up any of that money. But if you're thinking about buying a house that you want to stash your cash away, that's about the numbers you're gonna have to think about.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So it's really seeming that it's kind of, I think a lot of people may have that stereotype that it's, the same for everybody, but really it varies.
Does
quite a bit.
Based on the price of the house and your interest rate that you get,
your credit,
and if you get any, there's certain programs through our lenders that will help first-time home buyers with some closing cost, and there's all kinds of things that can happen. So
if you're a veteran, like I'm a Marine Corps veteran. There's great programs through the VA.
Plus no down payment.
No
for
down
veterans.
payment. They help with some of the costs, and it's very good. So you want to look into that. One of the when we talk to prospective home buyers, what a lot of times they don't want to talk to a lender right away because they don't want to run their credit.
Oh, yes.
And so, hypothesizing about how this deal is going to go down, we can do that all day. but the fact of the matter is that it's not like going to a car dealership where, you get shot out to 6 different banks.
Yeah.
And not everybody does that, but sometimes, if you have edgy credit, they're going to have to try different lenders.
Multiple.
Yeah, so there's multiple pulls. That's not how it is. With the lenders we use, they pull your credit. They're great. They know exactly what program. They look at it. They don't want to drive your credit down. They want to raise it up. They want to get the best rate for you. And that's one of the great things about home buying. It's really a pleasurable experience when you're because everybody's working really hard to get you the best numbers.
Yeah.
That's how we all get paid. I mean,
Yeah.
If you don't get a great deal, we're not getting paid.
Exactly.
So that's what we're all sort of working towards, and that's why we use certain lenders. That's why we sort of stick with the good things that are going on, and we try to lead our customers that way. But don't be worried. I don't think they should be worried about coming in and running credit and finding out exactly what they qualify for or exactly what they need to do to qualify. I think that's the first step. I mean, that's just the basic first step that needs to be done.
Yeah. Makes sense. Perfect. So for folks who, we kind of stuck with the theme of new home buyers, first time home buyers, can they, if they're just stuck, can they just come to y'all and say, what do I do? And
Yes.
y'all provide that guidance.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And they don't. A lot of people have said they've been with some realtors that just assume that they know what they're doing, and they don't get any questions answered. We like to walk them through everything, and if they know it, then fine, they can tell us, but we pretty much walk them through everything that they do step by step, who they talk to, what's going to happen, how much they're going to have up front. Typically it's your option fee and your earnest money. Usually that runs anywhere from about $1,100 to up to $2,500, more on the $1,100 side. That's all they have to have until closing, on a house. That's a big thing that a lot of first-time home buyers don't know. And then closing typically takes 30 days to 45 days.
Okay.
So you don't have to have, or worry about dishing out that money until 30 days. I wouldn't say you don't have to have it, because your lender will check to make sure that you have that in the bank.
Yeah.
So
that you're good for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And not just first-time homebuyers. Right now, there's a lot of folks out there that are looking with the State of the Union. You're trying to figure out where's a good spot to put my money.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, real estate is fantastic, especially in San Angelo. I might worry if I was living in California, because that bubble's going to burst sooner or later. But here in Texas, especially in West Texas and San Angelo especially, right now there's a lot of people buying rental properties,
Right.
Yeah.
buying houses to go ahead and rent them. And they're out there in Santa Rita area, Southland, wherever. And we help folks find those. We guide them through, we get them with the right lender. They can go ahead, and if they're already owning a house, they can go ahead and get some additional income. Right now, with the interest rate so low, you don't have to put a lot down. You can get an FHA, and you can buy a little $150,000 rental and still make money over the mortgage each month.
Okay.
Okay. So there's still a little bit of money, and then you're having the renter pay off your loan. So at the end of however long, 15 years or sooner, because if you just put all of it towards, you're going to pay it off a lot sooner, paying that towards principal, pay that additional towards principal. I mean, you'll have a paid off house. There's nobody that there's no investment that offers gains like that, solid gains like that. So if you're looking for additional income, you want to retire, and you want to look on a 10, 15-year plan, whatever, or you got some extra money, I think looking into real estate right now is just fantastic.
Especially if you have extra money, that's the place to put it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna earn you anything at the bank.
Yeah.
So, and I think stocks right now, I'd be a little scared,
That whole thing just scares me.
But real estate's pretty solid,
Yeah.
And in some, like he said, some places wouldn't want to have it in California.
No.
Yeah, but thankfully we are in West Texas here.
Yes.
So what advice maybe for those folks who they say, oh, I never really thought about that, investing in a house. What would you really tell them to kind of get themselves ready to do that?
To get with a real estate agent and let us know like how much you have to invest, what you want to invest, the area you want to invest in, and let us keep an eye out looking for you that perfect investment property, because it's that's mainly what you have to do right now is let an agent know what you want, because we watch every day. We have a list of buyers that we watch every day.
Yeah, this is what y'all do.
Right. And try to find and hop on something when it pops up for them, because they're not just sitting around on the market like they used to be. You can go from house to house looking for what you want. There's just not enough houses out there.
So as soon as on our Navica app that we look at for realtors, as soon as a realtor hits the listing, hits their listing to go live, it shows up here on our hot sheet.
Gotcha.
So we know the instant a new house hits.
So y'all know really before anybody else.
Right. We don't have to drive. It's not like the old days where you had to drive around and look for signs. Oh, there's a sign there. Oh, there's a sign there. No, it's right here.
There's still people that do that though.
But
and they're usually sold.
Yeah.
Right. So, but we have them instantly. So that's a great thing about this. And so we can always, and every Tuesday, ERA Newlin, we're the biggest real estate company here in San Angelo. We have the most agents. We have, we do the most business.
They're everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We have the best broker, Ryan Newlin. He's absolutely awesome.
He sent me the stats on ERA. I think we're the top by over, what was it he said this morning? We're number one we're double the sales of number two, actually.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So again,
that's pretty good. Yeah.
So every Tuesday we all get together. We have a morning meeting, Zoom meeting right now because COVID, but we have a Zoom meeting, and then we go out and we do a tour, and we tour all the houses that we at ERA are getting ready to list. So we're getting the good stuff before it hits the market.
Yeah.
So nobody else
before
sees
it even goes on anything.
Yeah, anything else. So of course we want inter-office sales. We want to help each other. We're a team. So we go and we view these houses. So we see it before it ever hits the market. So we can get, with our clients, we let them know, we see a good listing. We're out on the phones. Hey, we got one. We're looking that day before it ever hits, before it's ever listed. So that's a huge benefit for folks instead of sort of waiting around. That's one great thing about ERA. The people that we work with, they're very, very proactive. They hustle for their clients, whether it's listing or buyer. Everybody works real hard to get everybody what they want. I mean,
there's a reason we're number one.
She said it, folks. She said it. Well, sadly, we are out of time, guys. Y'all,
already?
I know, already. We're having such a good conversation. Y'all are going to have to come back. But is there any final thought or message that you want to share with everybody?
We need your house to sell.
Yeah.
We need
listings. We need listings.
So if you're even thinking about it, or you just want to know how much your house would sell for, you look us up. And
we're on Facebook, 325-301-9421. That's my phone number. You can call me anytime.
And we'll give you a free CMA or tell you what your house is worth, just for the fun of it.
And we work 7 days a week. It's not too late to call, not too early to call. Well, maybe
y'all
too early,
really love what you do.
We do love what we do. It's a great job, greatest job in the world.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you again so much for coming on, and we really appreciate all the great info y'all had. Tell Ryan you need to come back
I will.
Shout out to Ryan for having some great guests fill in. But that's it. I wish we could talk longer, but I really appreciate y'all coming, and I appreciate all of y'all watching. Don't forget, we're going to be back next week, Thursday, 11 a.m. for Real Estate Redefined. We'll see you then.